Hi, my name's Hills and this is part 3 of Harbour Museum's Baking Through Time project. Today we're going to be doing a Stuart era rice pudding recipe, but if you would like to do the previous recipes, there are two. There is a Anglo-Saxon baked apple and a Tudor pottage, and they are both up on the Harbour Museum website as written recipes. But this time around we decided to do a filmed version. Background first about the Stuarts. So the Stuart era began in 1603 after the death of Queen Elizabeth I. And when she died, that was the end of the Tudors. She didn't have any children, so her second cousin, King James I, took over as King of England. And that's the beginning of the Stuarts. The Stuart era was a little bit tumultuous. So the country was Protestant, but there were a lot of Catholics that were fighting for the country to go back to Catholicism, but also within Protestantism itself there was fighting. So Protestants that wanted things to remain the same, and then there were also Puritans. Puritans were a form of Protestantism that wanted just a really simple, very pious way of life. So even though there was a lot of upheaval and unrest during the Stuart times, there was also evidence to suggest that it was not all bad. In St Dionysius Church in the centre of town, there was actually some Stuart era children's toys found bricked up behind the staircase. Now these toys included whip tops, like small balls, and sap whistles. Now these were all made out of animal bone and wood and materials that would have been easy to find. So the rice pudding recipe we're going to do today would have been a very satisfying dish. It would have been ideal for Stuart children, giving them the energy to carry on playing with their homemade toys. So I hope you enjoy the recipe. Please let us know if you do make it. Send us in your pictures, we would love to see it, and hope you enjoy.
Step 1 is to preheat your oven to about 140 degrees or 120 for fan ovens. After you've popped your oven on, grab your butter and spread it over your chosen baking dish. A thin layer is all that's needed to stop the rice from getting stuck. Next, tip the pudding rice into the dish and spread it evenly. Tip in your caster sugar and mix both ingredients together. Once your dry ingredients are mixed, pour in your milk. Again, give the ingredients a good mix to make sure it's all well incorporated. Sprinkle a nice even layer of ground nutmeg over the top of the mixture. Pop it in the oven for about 2 hours. Brace yourself for your home smelling of a lovely wintry nutmeg. You'll know your pudding is done once the surface begins to brown and bubble, forming a skin across the top. Serve warm either on its own or with a dollop of your favourite jam. Enjoy!